In the heart of Ezulani, a remote village known for its dense forests, ochre-colored soil, and age-old customs, lived a wealthy farmer named Dube. His barns overflowed with yams, his livestock were many, and his fields stretched further than any other man's. Though he was praised for his prosperity, those who truly knew Dube understood that his riches masked a hardened soul. Dube had two wives. His first wife, Aziza, was from the distant highlands. She was serene, industrious, and wise beyond her years. She bore him a gentle daughter named Tariro. His second wife, Mbeki, a woman of Ezulani, was clever but unkind, known for her sharp words and colder heart. She had three children, two girls, Zenzi and Lindiwe, and a boy named Tabo. Though both women lived in the same compound, Dube made his favoritism clear. He lavished Mbeki with jewelry, fine fabrics, and feasts, while Aziza toiled unnoticed. Whether it was her accent or the fact that she came from another tribe, Dube treated her as an outsider in her own home. Aziza and her daughter Tariro lived quietly in a small thatched hut at the rear of the compound, separated from the main house. Isolated and friendless, Aziza found solace in a sacred drum passed down from her father. It was more than an instrument. It was a voice, her medicine, her spirit. She taught Tariro how to play, and every evening under the baobab tree, they would sing and drum away their sadness. Years passed, and Tariro grew into a radiant young woman, known for her beauty, humility, and deep wisdom. But her life was full of sorrow. One rainy season, Aziza fell gravely ill. Her skin dulled, and her once bright eyes dimmed. Tariro ran to her father. Baba, Mama is sick. We need help. Dube barely looked up. Let her rest. If it is her time, it is her time. And Becky ignored Aziza completely. No herbs, no water, no kindness. Left alone, teenage Tariro cared for her mother, fetching roots, cooking warm porridge, fanning her weak body. But the illness worsened one misty morning as raindrops pattered on their leaking roof. Aziza whispered her last words to Tariro. My child, don't let this world change your heart. Keep playing your drum. Then she closed her eyes forever. Tariro wailed and wept, but no one came. Her mother was buried without honor, without mourning, in a shallow grave behind the compound. From that day, Tariro became a servant in her father's house. Mbeki and her daughters treated her like a slave. She cooked, cleaned, fetched firewood and water, always eating last if she was fed at all. Dube remained silent, never once intervening. Yet Tariro never complained. She endured quietly, her mother's drum her only escape. At night she would sneak into the moonlight and softly play beneath the stars, whispering her grief into the rhythm. Her stepsister sneered. Do you think your drum will feed you? Zenzi mocked. It won't bring back your dead mother, Lindiwe jeered. One day, a prosperous farmer from a neighboring village named Kwena came to Dube's home with gifts, yam bundles, jars of honey, and two healthy goats. I've heard of a hard-working maiden named Tariro, he said, bowing. I seek her hand in marriage. Dube looked pleased and opened his mouth to respond, but Mbeki stepped forward quickly. She is not ready. Who will do the housework if she leaves? She snapped. Dube hesitated, then dismissed Kwena. Come back another time. Behind the door, Tariro had heard everything. That night she cried into her mat, clutching her mother's drum. One sweltering day, Mbeki sent her to clear a vast stretch of farmland alone. The sun beat down mercilessly, and Tariro's hands burned with every swing of her hoe. Then suddenly, a woman appeared from the shadows. She wore a white wrapper and had eyes like calm water. Let me help you, she offered kindly. Tariro stepped back. No, thank you, Ma. I can manage. But the woman smiled and began to work. Her movements were impossibly fast. In moments, the field was cleared. Thank you, Tariro said, breathless. I've watched you for a long time. You are strong. Don't lose that, the woman replied. Over the months, she appeared again and again on hard days, sometimes with food, sometimes with comfort. She never shared her name, but her presence was like cool rain on dry soil. One day, news reached Ezulani that Prince Zuberi, son of the ruling chief, had returned from the city. A great celebration was planned. It was announced that in 2 weeks, all the maidens in the land would gather to showcase their talents: music, dance, storytelling. The prince would choose his bride from among them. Mbeki sprang into action. She hired a dance instructor for her daughters, bought them embroidered clothes, shiny anklets, and oiled their skin till it gleamed. Tariro longed to go. Her heart yearned to share her music. One quiet evening, she took out her mother's drum and played Beneath the Moon, her song weaving sorrow and hope into the stars. But Mbeki caught her. Do you think the prince would pick a rag like you? She hissed. She seized the drum, poured kerosene on it, and set it aflame. No, please, that drum was all I had left of Mama, Tariro screamed, trying to smother the flames. Then go to the fields and finish clearing the millet, Mbeki snarled. If you don't finish before sunset, I will bury you next to her. Broken, Tariro stumbled to the farm, her spirit crushed. She collapsed among the weeds and wept. Then came the woman again, this time with a new talking drum. I saw everything, the woman said softly. Hide this drum. Practice each day. The prince loves music, and no one plays like you. Why are you doing this? Tariro asked, her voice breaking. Because you are pure, she replied, and because you must shine. 2 weeks passed. The day arrived, and Becky and her daughters left for the palace in dazzling robes, laughing as they mocked Tariro. You better wash those palm nuts before we return, Becky barked. If I even smell your shadow near the palace, you'll suffer. When they were gone, Tariro sat hopelessly. Then, like the rising sun, the woman returned, this time with a basket of beautiful clothes, fragrant oils, beads, and soap. Bathe, she said gently. I will prepare you. Tariro did as told. The woman braided her hair, oiled her skin, dressed her in a colorful wrapper, and gave her the talking drum. You look like the queen you were born to be, she said, handing her a small mirror. Tariro gasped. She was unrecognizable. At the palace, maidens danced and sang. Prince Zuberi sat bored, his face unreadable. Then Tariro stepped forward. Her drum echoed through the palace, fierce and tender. Her voice followed, soft yet commanding, singing in her mother's tongue. For the first time, Zuberi smiled. He picked up a flute and joined her. The palace held its breath. When the performance ended, the crowd erupted in applause. The chief rose. My son has chosen, he said. He chooses the girl with the talking drum. He chooses Tariro. Suddenly, Mbeki screamed from the crowd. She's a fraud. She stole those clothes. She's nothing but a servant. Gasps rippled through the crowd. The chief turned to Tariro. Is this true? Before she could answer, the mysterious woman stepped forward. It's a lie, she said. I gave her the drum and the clothes. I have watched her suffer for years. That woman treated her worse than a stray dog. Other women in the crowd rose. We saw it too, they shouted. She's telling the truth. The chief faced Mbeki. For your cruelty, you will serve here in the palace kitchen for 6 months. Perhaps then you'll learn kindness. Cheers followed. Prince Zuberi took Tariro's hand proudly. Her stepsisters shrank with shame. Dube, her father, bowed his head, too broken to speak. That evening, behind the palace, Tariro found the woman alone. I don't know how to thank you, she whispered. The woman smiled. Don't be afraid. I must tell you something. I am your mother. Tariro's eyes widened. But you died. Yes, the spirit replied, but I could not live while you were in pain. Now that you're safe, I can rest. Tears flowed as Tariro hugged her mother for the last time. The spirit smiled and vanished like mist on morning hills. 2 days later, the wedding took place. It was grand, vibrant, and filled with song. Tariro wore a golden headpiece and flowing robes. Dube, humbled, knelt before her, begging forgiveness. She forgave him. As she sat beside her new husband, looking at the clear blue sky, she whispered, "Thank you, Mama." And from that day, the beat of the talking drum no longer mourned. It sang of courage, of grace, and of a love so deep, not even death could silence it.